Hello YouTube, it's Sydney Island here. That's Island with a Y, not an S. And in this video, I am talking about sex with cancer. Sex with cancer is not just sex. Sex with cancer is lovemaking. And it's not only just lovemaking, it's soulful lovemaking. Because cancer people are very soulful people. When they make love to you, they make love with their soul, okay? They're not going to half-ass sex. They're not going to half-ass it. No, they're going to put their whole being into it, and they're going to use their intuition to try to figure out, not figure out because they already know. Let me not say figure out. They have intuition. The intuition is about automatically knowing, okay? So cancers will automatically know what it is that turns you on during sex just by vibing with you, because cancers are freaking psychic. And I'm excited to make this video because I freaking love cancers, right? Like y'all are something else. Y'all are very strange, but y'all are something else. I have a best friend who's a Cancer. So just a little disclaimer before I get into this video. I will be talking about erogenous zones, which is the zones that turn the cancer on. So I will get into, like more sexual type stuff. I'll get a little bit descriptive. So if you're under the age of 18, please click out of this video. I'm going to get into what turns cancer on. Okay, so, God, it's hot. Should I turn my fan on? So if y'all hear a loud noise coming from that distance, it's the fan. So, when cancers have sex with you, they make you feel that they're in love with you, okay? They make you feel cherished and cared for. They don't treat you like a piece of meat when they're having sex with you. They make you feel loved. Cancers are submissive rather than dominant during sex. A lot of the women will automatically assume the position of the submissive woman. They feel safe and comfortable in that position. So a lot of Cancer women, their favorite position may be missionary, where they're underneath a man because they feel that that's fitting for them. It's very comfortable for them. And Cancers, like Scorpio, when it comes to sex, are all about the spiritual merging of two souls, right? They think that, like, that's their ultimate. Just like Pisces, it's something about the water signs. I think it's because water signs are very psychic and very spiritual, that when it comes to sex, sex is much more than the flesh and the physical. It's about the spiritual, and it's also about a spiritual connection with their partner, and it's also about an emotional connection with their partner, especially for Cancer. On the emotional front, Cancers, they need to have an emotional connection with their partner, right? So I have a Lilith in Cancer, okay? So let me get into that for a minute. Lilith in astrology is the dark side of your personality, and it's also the kinky side of your personality. It's the side where you have all your little fetishes and stuff. That's where all your dark fetishes come from. The fetishes that you don't really feel comfortable talking about, okay? Or you won't openly admit, right off the bat. But since, this isn't a video about astrology, and we are in a safe place right now, right? This is all about astrology, so let's talk about it. I have a Lilith in Cancer, and so this means that when it comes to sex, that's why I was so excited to make this video, because it's pretty much, I'm describing myself, even though I'm a Taurus. When it comes to the darker parts of sex and the more intimate parts of sex, I'm a Cancer, to the depths. Okay, so having a Lilith in Cancer, it makes me have this strong desire to be dominated by a man during sex. I'm feeling like got the chills because I'm talking about it. But it's very exciting at the same time. It's like this crazy territory for me. So the ultimate sex for somebody with somebody who is a Cancer, and also somebody who has a Lilith in Cancer, is to be dominated completely. They feel that the most special moment is when they're completely overpowered and dominated by their man. They want to be overpowered. They want to be overtaken, because that turns them on more than anything else. And I noticed that during sex, I find that I can't explain it, but when a man is just so dominant and aggressive, and I just am in that completely submissive position, it just feels like bliss, So me having a Lilith in Cancer can kind of help you to understand, how Cancers are during sex, to the depth. And also, I researched on Lilith and Cancer, and this also means that, I will be attracted to men that provoke fear in me, right? And this is not just for me, but this is for Cancer women I've actually noticed in my life. Like, and I thought it was a little bit strange. Like, I personally have never been in a relationship with a guy that, scared me or anything like that. I've known Cancer girls who've been in relationships with guys who were, abusive and violent. Cancer women have a tendency to attract men who are emotionally manipulative and controlling and sometimes violent and just outright crazy, to be honest. And it's scary for them, but that fear turns them on. And I'm not trying to promote domestic violence or anything like that. That is absolutely not okay in my book. But that whole abuse and that whole violence thing is sometimes a turn on for Cancers, from what I've noticed. And I'm not just saying this, like, this is literally from what I've noticed with more than one Cancer person in my life. So sometimes Cancer people or Lilith and Cancer people will fantasize about, being hit during sex, or not even during sex, but just in general. They'll fantasize about being hit by their partner, or, being choked and stuff like that. It gets real. I'm getting into it, y'all, because when I make these videos, I want to be honest. I don't want to give y'all the sugar-coated truth about it. I want to give y'all the ugly truth about it, the wild, crazy truth. So during sex, Cancers express their deepest emotions through sex, right? Sex is the way that they release their feelings and any pent up frustrations and feelings and emotions. Okay. Also, Cancers are happiest in a committed relationship, such as being engaged or married or in a long-term relationship. Cancers are happiest when they're with somebody. I've noticed that Cancers don't really like to be alone. Being single for a Cancer, like, it won't last long. Like, Cancers, they sometimes will cling to an unhealthy partner, just so they won't be alone, and I've seen this in my own personal life with Cancers. Okay. And so let's get on to Cancer men. Cancer men also may have a secret submissive side. When it comes to sex, sometimes Cancer men may want to be dominated. They may be okay with that. And also, Cancer men, on the flip side, there's this theme with dominant versus submissive when it comes to Cancer, for both men and women. Some men may also not only be okay with being submissive, but they also fantasize about completely dominating a woman, because it's about this feminine versus masculine, dominant versus submissive theme with Cancers a lot of times when it comes to sex, and also even relationships. When it comes to that, they're just drawn to that. So Cancer men, they may have like a dominant fetish, right, where they fantasize about completely dominating a woman and completely having power over a woman, and having this woman be at the mercy of him while they're having sex, and just at the mercy of his touch. And she's just like, you the boss, you the king, I'm at your mercy, okay? I quake at your touch, and just your touch alone. Cancer people do not have any problem committing. I mean, not that Cancer men or Cancer women don't cheat, it's just that they're less than other signs less likely to cheat, right? So Cancers, they're one of the signs that find it easier to commit, because they just need that security there. And also, when it comes to sex, they're not the most fond of one night stands or anything like that. Like, they'd rather have sex with somebody that they've gotten to know for a while. Cancer people like to take it real slow. They don't like to rush into relationships, and they sure as hell don't like to rush into sex. They want to take their time. So don't rush a Cancer, because Cancers, they don't like that, and they don't want to ever feel pressured. They do not ever want to feel pressured to have sex or to date. They just want to take their time. Cancer people need a lot of love and affection. That makes them feel whole. Without love and affection, they feel empty and they feel depressed. So if they're with a partner that deprives them of love and affection, they're going to be miserable. Let's talk about the environment when it comes to sex with a Cancer. Cancers prefer for their environment to be peaceful when they're about to have sex. Okay, they don't really do well with loud noises. They rather be safe when they're having sex. You know, they don't want to do anything that's too risky when it comes to sex. They're not like Aries. Okay, they prefer an environment where you have like candles lit and good smells and peaceful music playing in the background. You know, they need to feel safe in order to open up to somebody enough to have sex with them. You know, Cancers, they can't just sex is a very deep thing for a Cancer, so they can't just take their clothes off for whoever and be like, here I am. No, they have to be buttered up, you know what I'm saying? They have to be taken care of before they can open up sexually to you, because sex is very important to a Cancer. They prefer to have a deep connection with the person that they're having sex with. Cancers are very sweet and very sensitive. So, you know, as partners, they're sensitive lovers. They really will try to make sure that you feel comfortable in the relationship, and they want you to feel that that you can be yourself with them in a relationship. So that's all I have for y'all today. Make love to a Cancer. I always be having my freestyles, because you know I gotta sing in every video. Cancers will make love to you, and you better make love to a Cancer too. Yes! You like my freestyle? You like my freestyle? I know you like my freestyle. So that's all I got for y'all today. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Again, this was Sex with a Cancer. Soulful lovemaking. Bye-bye.